Hello, my name is Lizzie. This film is a special film for my colleagues on T13 in UCLH, the hospital where I work. And hopefully you may have seen the special box of smiles that was circulating before Christmas. And inside this box were some beautiful cranes made by Yumetomo Group, so in Japan. And these cranes come with a lot of love and care from patients with dementia. And they will have folded as children, and they've been remembering the joy, feeling the joy that comes from folding cranes. And they started this during the pandemic as a way of being able to help. It was obviously the volunteers, the staff there, that wanted to make a difference and to bring back some smiles and a feeling of connection. And they've been creating amazing displays, beautiful displays of cranes, and they've made 40,000 so far. They're aiming for 1 million by 2025 as part of an amazing exhibition. So do check it out, and I'll include their website below. But this film is for my colleagues because the Yumetomo Group very kindly made 100 very special cranes with beautiful messages, hopefully something like this, about the crane, the meaning of it being for happiness and health, and yes, and about how it's made them smile, and how they hope when you received the crane, maybe opened its wings or looked at it, that it gave you a smile as well. And I think it very much comes from the Japanese spirit, omotenashi, so the Japanese way of hospitality. And they have given us some beautiful hospitality and care across the world, sent from Japan just to bring some smiles to our ward. So many of my colleagues were asking, could we do something back to send back to Japan? And I think that's an amazing idea. So let's, with the box that you received, hopefully that box there of smiles on T13, which has got pictures of the lovely ladies, the grandmothers who've been folding these cranes. And I hope you can look at those. And inside the box now, I'm going to put in some special papers. So there's going to be some papers, which I hope some traditional Japanese papers, as well as some other, just all sorts of papers I've found. So things like I've been making cranes from wrapping paper, which is really nice too. So I'll put some special papers, and I want you to make 2 cranes. You can do it. The first one, I think, is a present for yourself, the gift of making, and it's about that self-care, making one for yourself. The second crane, it would be amazing if you could do a second crane, because we'd love to send those second cranes to Japan. And actually, there's some very special papers that I've been given from the Yumetomo Group, which look wonderful like this. And inside there's these little areas, and that's for you to write a wish, a dream, a hope for the future. So write your dream or wish for the future in there, and we'll send it to Japan, and we'll be able to see later on a film of your crane, and they will read it, they will read them with great interest, and we'll be very happy to display them. So let's learn the gift of folding a crane. So this film is for my colleagues, but anybody can join. And actually, if you would like to join us in folding cranes to support those amazing people in Japan with dementia and their families, to bring a smile, and it's about celebrating hope, then please get in touch, because we would love to add your cranes in there, and I think it could be really exciting to see them too. We're going to do more on this, but for now, you may well, if your colleague, have some paper there already, but I'm just going to show you how to make a square. And actually, it's really fun if you go and find just some interesting paper, any paper, or I don't know, flyer or bit of a magazine or something that you've done, and you can fold that. So I know people in Japan have loved seeing some of our English language and things that might be in there, or maybe you can have doodled or written in some hopes as well. But just to show you, you could fold a crane from any paper. So to make a square, that's all we're doing first of all, is I'm folding this A4 piece of paper in half. And my sort of 3 tips for origami. My first one is start well, it will continue well. Start badly and it will get worse. So be really exact, really lining things up. My second rule is to give good strong folds, because the folds actually give it the strength. You also let out a bit of stress too. So I think it's really good, and actually this is a lot what it's for. This is for relaxation and for supporting your well-being. So good strong fold. Third point, it's not really a rule, but just remember it's meant to be fun. The sense of playfulness and joy, but it's really important. Don't take it too seriously. It's all right, and be patient and kind to yourself. So all I've done is give a good strong there, fold there, be very accurate. And then with my piece of paper, all I need to do is turn it over, give a little tiny nick there, and I can tear it off. So all I've done is made an A5 piece of paper. And next, to make a square, all you have to do is take a corner, line it up down there, nice and straight. There we go. Folded that nice little right angle triangle. We need to remove a rectangle. You could cut it off, but all you need to do really is tear. So I turn it over and I lift this up and bring it back and squash it down. And I hope maybe if you're a colleague, maybe you're looking at this video, break in your day, or maybe you've taken this home, and I hope this can be a little bit of something nice for you. You do so much to care for others, and it is really important to look after ourselves. I think we all of us need to constantly remind ourselves of that one, myself included. So, piece of paper that's folded in half. So if you have an origami piece of paper, nothing different apart from pretty colours, is to take the corner and fold it up to make a triangle. You can see it's nice and exact. It's a good strong fold there. So our next step is we're going to take this corner and we're going to fold it over there. So we're just adding that line. So we're just going to take this and fold it over. There we go. You might find it easier, to be honest, on the table. It's just I like saying hello to you at the same time. So I've just folded it over here. I've been learning to fold into a screen, which is a skill in itself. So hopefully it's looking like this. And can you see there's two little pockets? So I just want you to take this top pocket and put your finger in. I would recommend putting your finger in because what you're trying to do is get rid of any wrinkles. And then I'm pushing it up to make a square. And making sure that everything is nice and lined up. When you're happy that it is, then adding that squash at the sides there. There we go. And if it wasn't quite lined up, you can do it so it is lined up, and paper is great that way. So if you now turn it to the back, and we're going to be doing the same thing, but I recommend now we're going to fold against that line. So all I'm doing is taking this bit that sticks out and just folding it back along the same line so that this sticks out almost like a little nose or something that sticks out. And I'm going to put my finger into that pocket again and squash it up. So the crane is something which children learn mostly in Japan. And it's something which people do across generations with each other, symbols of good health and good luck. And in Japan and actually Korea, they also fold lots of cranes too and thread them up and put them outside temples, often wishing people well. So it's kind of like thoughts and care, and it's just such a relaxing activity. So at the moment, you have got what looks like a square, and it's sort of gathered at the bottom, open at the top. So your next step is to take the top edge and just fold it along that vertical line. So taking that outside top edge and folding it along the vertical line. Hopefully I'm going fairly slowly, but the good thing with the film is you can stop, you can pause, you can change the speed, and I recommend going slowly because the point is not to just finish, it's actually to enjoy doing it. And if you go slowly, you're slowing yourself down, and that's relaxing in itself. Be patient and kind to yourself. Learning something new is a big thing, so do praise and encourage yourself in doing that. Top edge, again, folding to that middle line. And I hope that you're finding this requires so much concentration, you're not thinking about anything else, which is a good thing. There we go. We need times like that. We all do, and I think increasingly so, don't we? There we go. So hopefully looking like this. Next step is to take that bottom triangle and just push it up and add a squash there. That's it. There we go. Good squash there. And then bring this down and then open this up. I like to think of opening presents, why not? So I've sort of opened it up, and what I want you to do is to hold that bottom triangle and take this top layer, and just bring it down. It's almost like opening, so we're holding it there, almost like opening a little beak there. And then our next step is to gently kind of encourage the sides in. So you're sort of rolling the sides in, and it's probably going quite easy at the top, and it's not very easy at the bottom. So the trick is that you're not adding any extra lines, but you're having to change the direction of those lines. So it just requires a bit of patience and a bit of belief you can do it. I'm just, I guess, encouraging the paper, and you should be able to change those lines from one direction to another. And I encourage you, putting your finger in like that, you're getting rid of those wrinkles. Can you see? And hopefully with this patience, and it's important to be patient because actually the paper is both delicate and strong. I think like a human being, treat it with respect and kindly. Good things will happen. If you certainly don't want to tear it, do you? So there we go, hopefully looking like that. Now we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So turn it around now to the back, hold on to that triangle, and again the top layer, opening up like a little beak, and again you'll find that probably actually in this case the bottom is rolling in quite easily and the top's a bit more tricky. So as with before, you're going to have to get your fingers in there, and you're just encouraging, you're not adding any extra lines, but you're having to encourage the paper round in the other direction. Okay, this is the sort of trickiest step really. And you see, that's it. And just take your time. And hopefully it's relaxing when you go slowly. There we go. Right, so your piece of paper is looking like this. Now I recommend we turn it the other way up. So just turn it round. The bottom, it's got now like the leggy bits, and these you can see are going to become wings already. So our next step is to take the bottom, which is like the leggy bit, and we're going to take this outside edge, just that top layer, which I guess is actually a doubled over piece of paper, and we're going to take this edge and we are going to fold it along that vertical line. So we're going to take this edge and fold it along there, and make sure you're nice and neat through that point. So there you go. So in Japan and Korea as well, and I think other places in Asia, this idea of the thousand crane legend, that cranes are very much seen as symbols of good luck, good health, longevity, and yeah, the idea if you fold 1,000 cranes, then your wishes come true. And I guess the Yumetomo group have particularly done that on a huge scale. So many wishes that hopefully will come true. And I guess it's a real way to show your care. So this bottom edge, bring to the middle. And we've been so touched that this group, that patients would fold cranes and would be happy that they brought smiles to us across in London, and many of those residents will have never travelled, so it's very exciting to see another part of the world. And at the moment they're still having to be very careful for residents, so having to make sure that they're actually not able to see their families at this time. So it's been really good to have something positive, and we're grateful for that. So turning around to the back, and again the bottom edge. And hopefully for colleagues, I'll see you in person, obviously with a mask on, but you can see now my colourful sitting room where I am, and see me without a mask. And hopefully this is just nice and slow. So again, I was bringing that outside bottom line, where it's the leggy bit, to that vertical line. And I just hope you can enjoy doing this just carefully, and I think you're giving yourself that care at the same time. So hopefully it's looking like this. We really are getting there. Something like this. You've got the legs, you've got the wings there, we've got the sort of leg and a head there. So our next step, how to add the neck, the head and the tail. So I recommend you almost turn over a page here, and then lift up that bottom edge, the whole bottom edge, lifting it up. and then sort of closing the page on itself. Again, all these things take practice, so if it's not immediately working, don't give up. It's about persistence, origami. I'll just show you again. So it's like that, and I turned the page to that sort of smoother side, and I lifted up the bottom, and then I'm closing it in on itself like that. And I guess trying to sort of fold that in half all the way up there. Hope you can see. Well, at the moment it could be a parrot, but I think we'll make a crane. It's more of a symbol of that. So again, the other side, same thing again, opening it up, bringing it up, and then closing it in on itself and folding it in. Hope you're able to see that. Let me see. Yeah. So you can make, if you really get into making cranes, it can be really fun to try to make really tiny ones, or maybe a huge one, whatever you feel like doing. Yeah. There we go. So something like that. So one end needs to be a head. So that's your almost your final step. So the head, putting your finger in there, just one tip, you decide which is going to be the head, bringing it down, and then you could sort of squash it a bit sideways, which will help sort of stay in place. So I'm also sort of trying to squash it sideways. Oh, hard to show, but hopefully you got something like that. The thing is, they'll all be a little bit different, and that's what makes them rather endearing. There we go. So you can see there's a head and a tail, and then the final sort of step is to open it up. So you take the wings down, and then bring the wings sort of down. It inflates the body. This area inflates as well, and it will also sort of stand up like so. And you could bring out the tail, the head further if you wanted. It's up to you. But hopefully you've got something like this. So I hope that that's worked for you. We took our time, and I think that's important because that's what I'm encouraging you to take some time out. So please make one for yourself. Hopefully that first one for yourself, maybe you had some nice paper. I hope so. That is for you to keep. The second one, please make a second one, because we'd so love to be able to send back a crane, and maybe use this wonderful paper where you can write in your hopes and dreams, and let's send them to Japan and bring back a smile to them as well. They'll be so thrilled. Thank you so much. And as I said, anybody else who's joining us, please do join us. Get in touch. I'll include details below and how we can get them sent to Japan. We'd really appreciate the support. I know the Yumetomo group have been so touched that people outside of Japan would fold cranes. Of course we do. We all need to be folding more cranes. It will do good things for us all. Take care. Happy folding.